team that wasn't on the list, Nick, but I heard they have the sixth best quarterback in the league. It was very specific that he was the sixth best quarterback in the league. I just read the headline. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't dive too deep into this article because it is written from our favorite people over at Fox Sports.
Those freaking jokers.
And you know what? I saw that Dak Prescott, the sixth best quarterback, and I'm like, you know what? He very well could be the sixth best quarterback this year. And I'm sure there's probably some stats and statistics that, show that he's going to be the sixth best. But I'm just excited to see him back out on the field, really throwing the ball, running the ball, just back out there moving, leading Big Mike's team to potentially a playoff run. I don't really care if he's the sixth best because, at that point, you're really splitting, 6 to 10. There's not going to be much difference, what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's my viewpoint on it. But, people at Fox always getting us riled up a little bit.
Yes, they do. Because what I take from this headline is, so he's not in the top 5. So, when have you ever heard a list that was top 6? Never. So we already can establish he's not in the top 5. I do think it's interesting because if I'm being totally honest, do I think Dak Prescott... Actually, let me word it like this. In the NFL, I would say you could judge a quarterback on 2 things. Their natural ability, like their talent level, their skill set, and how much they win, right? So you have those 2 things. Is Dak Prescott one of the 6 winningest quarterbacks in the NFL? Absolutely not. Not even remotely in the top 6. He has not proven anything of the sort, in my opinion. Now, he has been hurt. I don't hate Dak Prescott. I'm just being realistic. So then if we look on the talent side, is Dak Prescott one of the 6 most talented quarterbacks in the NFL? Absolutely not. There's no way. So, in my mind...
You don't think so, Nick? You don't see...
Here's what.
You got to think back to those hip thrusts, baby.
Oh, I like...
hip thrusts. That puts him in the top 6 automatically. Talent alone.
The hip thrusts are something I've never seen a Super Bowl winning quarterback do, so I'm just going to start with that. But I do think...
Yeah, probably because they do it in closed doors,
But no, talent-wise, I don't. And the reason I say that is Rodgers, Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Matt Stafford. That's 5 right there that are already better than him, right? So he would then have to creep into the next realm of people, which, for being totally honest, in fairness, we haven't seen a lot of him. We haven't seen a lot of him.
Yes, especially the last year.
But I think you've got a Russell Wilson that's obviously in there. So that's 6 right there that I just listed off pure talent wise. That's 6 right there.
Sure.
So that makes him not in the top 6. And then you have to start thinking okay, who's sort of in that next group? And it's I don't know if we can say that he's better than most of the next group if we're being totally honest. If you start naming off some other guys and you start you start comparing yeah, but what have they done and what has he done? Carson Wentz is as good of a quarterback as Dak Prescott by everything we've seen for the most part. Carson Wentz was leading that team to that Super Bowl anyway before he got hurt. This is in the same division that whole time. I don't think we're really dealing with... Jerry Jones also didn't pay this man. Maybe he should have, but he didn't pay him originally, which is not the sign of a top 6 quarterback in the NFL. Now, he did get paid eventually, but in my mind, I don't think there's a lot that points to him being a top 6 quarterback in the NFL. Top 10, I am kind of with you there. 6 to 10, we could start to have a toss-up. Maybe more 7 to 10, because I do think if you said Russell Wilson was in that first 6, But I don't know, man. It's tough to me because it's if I'm looking at raw talent, freaking Kyler Murray is a very talented quarterback. Incredibly talented.
I think we're a little bit on the opposite sides here, Nick. We got a little, classic, Stephen A. Smith, that other
Kellerman.
guy no, the old school, man, the old school when it was good, when it was first, when you first saw it, you're oh.
Yeah, we're a little skipping Shannon right now. I get that.
Bayless. Yeah,
skipping
sure.
Shannon.
But yeah, I think people forget how decent Dak Prescott is at throwing the football, and I think this year he's probably really coming back because I think there's a lot of people who are very much on the same page as you, where they're in terms of winning, he really hasn't done much. Gotten to the playoffs, nothing like that.
Right.
And there are guys that are more talented at the position than him. So it's like, where does he fall? And I think this year he's really probably going to have a chip on his shoulder, not from just coming back from the injury, but also being like, this is a year we got to prove, and knowing this is like a year for Big Mike, and like
Big Mike.
Yeah, he's got that extra chip on his shoulder too. So I think Dak Prescott's going to come out. He's going to surprise a lot of football fans, and I think people are going to be excited to see the Cowboys. Well, mainly Cowboys fans doing good.
No
but
doubt.
yeah, I think the Cowboys will be a contender. But like I said, in that division, it's a toss-up who's going to be good, and who knows? They could come out very lackluster. So
absolutely,
it's one of those things you kind of believe in. You don't believe it until you see it.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and then it probably takes 3 or 4 more games to start believing, and then once you do, it all crashes down, and it's like,
all of a sudden,
you got me.
Top 6. But until I see the wins,
top 6.
It's like, come on, guys. It's like Fox Sports. Like, what are you doing? Like, you couldn't even be controversial enough to say he was 5th, so it'd be top 5, a number that people are used to.
Yeah,
like, what are they doing?
Yeah, it is kind of odd that it's like top 6. Like, why are we having this conversation over a top 6 quarterback in the NFL?
Yes.
Like, does it really matter? No. Like a top 6 quarterback is like, I will still have a top 6 quarterback.
Yes, for sure.
Like, at the end of the day, I think you would be okay. Like, if your team had Dak Prescott as your quarterback, it's like there's a lot of still upside with him,
right?
But it's like, okay, you do have like a year or 2 to prove it. Otherwise, I'm going to ship you out.
That's what it is.
But I think we'll see good things from Dak. I'm very hopeful. I'm very excited for him. I'm very excited for the season. I call him like, mini, Russell Wilson 2.0, essentially.
He's got a little bit of that to him, for sure.
A little bit, for sure.